All right, everybody, welcome to the Retro Wrestling Revival. It's Tuesday night. Hope everybody's doing amazing. Hopefully your week has started off wonderful. Hopefully your life is great and everything's good with you. I am John Wangland, and joining me as always is my partner, Mr. Richie Reardon. How you doing, Mr. Richie?
Doing good, man. I'm excited for tonight's topic. We discussed it earlier today, and things always flow to us, man. We're sitting here bouncing ideas off each other, and we came up with some good shows that we're going to have tonight, and I'm excited to take them, man.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk a little modern topics, and then we're going to finish up with some old school stuff. No, not really that old school, just a decade or so ago, but we're going to talk tonight about Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy. Man, I'm excited for this, actually, to discuss this. I was talking with a friend about this yesterday, but Uncle Howdy's coming back. It looks to be that way. They're popping all these cryptic teases right now, all these things that are, they're showing with QR codes on Raw, and it looks like Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy's going to be coming back, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with this. We're also going to talk a little bit about the follow-up to the Tony Khan incident last week, where he decided to play that video. We talked about it on the radio show last week, but we always tape that ahead of time, as this is a radio taping. So if you're listening to this later on, we do put one episode up live on Facebook, and then we'll air the episodes on Saturday and Sunday. So you're getting a little radio show early each Tuesday night when we put this up. And we talked about it last week, but we didn't have the final results yet on what Tony Khan was going to put up. So we're going to discuss that too. And then if we have enough time at the end of the show, we're going to do a watch along to Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker from WrestleMania about a decade or so ago. And it's going to be fun to go back and watch that. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen the match.
You've never seen the match?
Never seen the match, man.
It's an incredible match, man. It's one that I was hoping would have been the one to break the streak. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. Bray Wyatt would have been the new face of fear, and I think that would have been a lot more epic than what we actually got with that. So, it's a great match, though, man. I'm glad you're going to get to see it for the first time.
Yeah, that was one of the only WrestleManias I've ever missed live, so I wasn't able to see it, and I never got a chance. I never watched it back, so I know the results, of course, but I didn't ever see it or anything like that. So this is my first time checking it out, so we're going to watch that. And we're going to have a good time tonight. So let's kick it off, though, with a little Tony Khan discussion. I like talking about Tony Khan sometimes. He always draws ratings, for us at least. Maybe not for himself, but if we put him up on YouTube or we put him on the radio where he's an advertised topic, it always works out well that we get a lot of hits on it. So I'm not really advertising him here too much, but I'll throw this out later on some things when I put it up, for the weekend. And he always draws ratings for us, maybe not for himself, but it's always nice to kind of have a discussion about this guy because he's definitely a very polarizing figure in the world of professional wrestling, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. I mean, you got to look at it as they're the B side of wrestling right now, and he's the leader of it. He's the Vince McMahon, and basically, man, Tony Khan is a guy that he seems like he's the ex-girlfriend of CM Punk. Seriously? He just doesn't leave him alone. It's like a guy that would have to go on a show that doesn't even employ CM Punk anymore and feel the need that, he had to lash out and show the video footage, which, might I add, proved exactly what CM Punk was talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, to the T. I mean, so I don't know what they were trying to accomplish here. It was a sketchy setting. They didn't even explain the whole skit or what it even meant. They were talking about FTR for a good while, and then all of a sudden they show this video, and it's just kind of AEW's MO now since Cody Rhodes has left. You can totally see that the brains behind the show has totally been cut off. So
it's clickbait 101 that they do all the time, and it just doesn't pay off. How's it going tonight, Jeremy?
It didn't even make sense.
Jeremy says, chilling out, got the radio on, listening to some 90s rock before you guys came on. Well, that's good, man. That's good. Right, glad to have you out tonight.
90s rock still rules.
Always does, man. Yeah, it definitely doesn't make sense when you look at why he did this. What did he have to prove by doing this? We talked about it last week on the radio. We said this was a no-win situation for him, that he was going to come out looking like a complete jabron. And let's be realistic. He looked like a complete horse's ass.
We both said that if he comes out and it proves that CM Punk's right, then what really does it do for AEW at all?
He played no audio to it at all. He played no audio to it. And it was just exactly like CM Punk said. The best part was the end when you can see that he yells right over. This is where Tony Khan said he feared for his life. And there's a YouTube video up on our YouTube. Just look up Retro Wrestling Revival Podcast on YouTube. You'll see it right there. Make sure you follow the page as well. and a funny video that I made up and put up with some of the Tony Khan's cringiest moments recently. And you could see right at the end of it where he's just yelling at him, "You clown, I quit,"
Yeah.
or whatever he said to him. And I don't know how Tony Khan feared for his life. It's pathetic,
Yeah, this was
bro.
a shove fight. It wasn't even a big deal. He put him in a headlock, and Punk always said, "Tell me when I'm telling lies. Say what you want about Punk, but he speaks facts." That's absolutely right. I've
Yeah.
said the same thing too. I'm not the biggest Phil Brooks fan, but I am a pretty big CM Punk fan. So, but hey, he was very honest in this one, and it came out to be true. And that's when you hear stories nowadays, it's not always the case anymore. So,
Yeah, he definitely came out smelling like roses on this one. I think to a lot of people,
yeah.
it almost nobody defended Tony Khan except
Well, and
the
during the video playing, I don't know if you noticed, but the fans were actually chanting CM Punk during it. I mean,
yeah, and then they were doing it on Collision this weekend again too. They were chanting CM Punk.
that's pretty bad, dude. That's
Dude,
that's pretty bad. That's not
he
a good look for AEW.
he's trying to pop a rating. The most he could pop was he could get it to 819,000. So they had a 9% spike that they had. And you know what's going to happen
And
this
you had
week.
to
That
you
shit's
had to
going to go
mention the competitor's injured star.
seriously over and over again. And then Will Ospreay goes on the show and starts talking about how Triple H, he wanted to respond to what he thought was Triple H, making a dig at him on the Pat McAfee show about people not wanting to, go along with the grind. And he says that the only reason Triple H is where he's at is because he grinded on the boss's daughter.
Oh
And
yeah,
what a stupid move that was, man. Like,
that guy will
really?
never get a contract in the WWE.
So stupid. There's many things you can do. You can talk some shit, you can say some stuff, but you don't talk about another man's wife. You don't
No,
talk about another man's family like that. And
yeah,
you
those are
just
two
don't do it.
bugaboos you don't cross, man.
And boy, what a bonehead move that was.
Yeah,
Between the Will Ospreay and then the video, it looked like the most amateur hour bullshit that I've seen in ages.
hmm
And it was quite pathetic. So I just don't understand what the point of it was. And you're gonna see the ratings just go boop right back
they'll
down. That
tank again.
9%, that 9% jump, man, I bet you they go down from where they were at the week before because I think they turned a lot of people off. Yeah, I saw the Jack Perry thing too. Jeremy said, "Did you see Jack Perry at the New
Yeah,
Japan
what the
show?"
hell was that? That was so awkward.
So
And then he
stupid.
has "Cry Me a River" on the back of his jacket. Like,
Seriously,
dude,
what a
how
turd that
fucking
kid
old
is.
are you? You know?
Seriously, come on, grow up. What a turd. That kid is just cringy at best as well.
And I really liked Jack Perry in the beginning, and
He
when
looked
he
like a
was
nice
Jungle
kid.
Boy, when he was Jungle Boy, it looked great. I mean, the gimmick, everything. I enjoyed AEW's early days,
I agree.
and unfortunately now it's just like you said, it's for shock and awe. They do outlandish shit. It's a direct blueprint of WCW 2000. I mean, to the
Seriously.
T, and
And
you can
anybody that
see
says
them.
it's not is cheating themselves in their
Dude,
thinking because
they're falling faster than shit, and they don't have to. I mean, they
yeah,
don't have to go on this path. They do have talented people over there,
lots of them.
lots of them.
They got a
But
great TV deal. They got a great production value to their
yeah,
show. They got a rich owner that's willing to just dive
dump
in.
money. Yeah,
Yeah, he's willing to dive in headfirst on anything and dump money at it. The guy's not shy about doing it. He's passionate too. Let's
yeah.
give him credit. He's passionate about what he does. It's just they need to keep this man away from the product and they need to bring somebody good in that it can
If
actually
they
do it.
don't, they're going to be in trouble. You
Yeah.
know, it was funny because one of our old partners said that AEW wouldn't be around for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, they've been around for a while now, but I'm going to tell you right now, if they keep on this trajectory, they don't have 2 years left. I mean, you
No.
cannot pool the numbers that they're pooling and the tickets that they're selling and expect to sustain this forever. You
Warner
just can't.
Brothers Discovery, man. I don't care how much money you got, with him. Warner Brothers Discovery wants ratings. They want money. They
Yeah.
want advertisements. They want those things. When you're not drawing flies to shit, you're not going to bring in money, advertising, and revenue. It's simple business right there. And he's a smart businessman and a rich man. He should realize that. But he just uses that company as his little play toy. They're like his personal live action wrestling figures,
And it's not like they're going for epic venues or anything like that. They're not
Yeah.
going to Madison Square Garden. They're not going, to all these big stadiums and stuff.
No.
They're going to small arenas, and they still aren't filling a quarter of the arena.
Well, he's overbooking the arenas too, or he's booking the arenas in too big of venues for himself. So he's going to places that fit 15, 20,000 people in them, and he can only put 3,000 people in. Collision this week, I think they said only had like 2,000 people there. They were showing the videos of it. I mean, people always post the videos. It's pathetic, man. It
Yeah.
really is. And, you know, Jeremy makes a good point here. He says it doesn't make sense. They do horrible TV, but they have legit pay-per-view shows, really
Yeah.
good matches, really good cards. There are pay-per-views from what I don't buy them, but from what I see on the matches and stuff, and when I have bought them, they're really good. They're really good cards. They're
Well, it
really good
seems like they
matches.
followed the MO of WCW where they, their stars, they don't make them show up to the weekly shows
Yeah.
as often. I mean, they only make them on the pay-per-views,
Yeah.
I mean, if they do show up, it's for a promo or a tag team match or something like that, but they're not throwing any banger matches or anything like that.
Yeah, they did lose Arthur Ashe Stadium. I don't know if they lost it or they chose not to book it or whatever it might have been, but they're definitely not doing it. They were planning on doing it this summer for one of their pay-per-views. I can't remember which one it was right offhand, but it was supposed to be one of their bigger shows that they do, and they ended up having to move it. I think they moved it to Long Island potentially or somewhere around there, but they're not doing Arthur Ashe Stadium. They just can't. They can't sell out. Yeah, they just can't.
It makes them look bad if they do stuff like that.
It's
When you go to
stupid.
big venues and you're not even filling up half the seats, you look dumb as fuck. I mean,
It's dumb as hell. It's just
Yeah.
silly business. I mean, let's see what they do this week. I mean, to follow up with that slop that they put out last week, because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they turned a lot of fans off by doing that.
It made them look
And
stupid, and I'm sorry, but Nick
Yep.
and Matt Jackson, everybody says how creative they are and stuff
creative
like
my
that,
ass.
but,
They're idiots.
without Kenny Omega around, without Cody Rhodes around, it just looks like they have a ship that's nobody's in control. Nobody's steering the ship.
You mentioned Kenny Omega, and he was on a live stream this weekend, and he actually put over CM Punk and talked about how they worked through a couple of differences as men and talked about it, and he brought up things. Kenny Omega is a strange guy for sure. He's definitely got some weird quirks and mannerisms, don't we all? But the guy's a decent dude, man. And that's, he admitted right on the stream too. He says, yeah, I have an EVP title, but I'm not a good EVP. I don't do those things. It's not who I am. Like, I don't feel like I've done anything good as an EVP, at least since the first, year of the company. It's just not who I am. I respect a guy like that, man. Yeah, I really do. I respect Kenny Omega
He's
a
a
lot.
wrestler.
Yeah.
He's not a tie and suit guy. He's a wrestler.
He is who he is. He likes to play video games. He likes to wrestle. He likes to do what he likes to do. And you know what? All for a guy like that. He's a class act, and I have
he's
nothing.
put on some incredible matches.
Damn
the
sure
stuff
has,
that he
man.
did in New Japan is legendary.
And he's done some damn good things he's done some damn good things in AEW too.
Yeah, and you don't make that much noise and you don't earn the title, the hottest free agent in wrestling and stuff like that. That's not all stuff that's just given, So he has paid his dues. He has made incredible matches, and besides the 5-star Dave Meltzer stuff, he has done some incredible things.
Even Meltzer's kind of taken a little different tone with some things. Like, even he didn't put him over for doing this and said it was a really big bonehead move, basically. So it was just
there
dumb.
was no win in here for them. There was no business side of it, and that's the whole thing. They don't know how to do good business.
Yeah,
they don't. I mean, Vince McMahon, when he had Bret Hart and stuff like that, that was good business. WCW was the one that dropped the ball on the whole thing.
Yep.
And they flopped Bret Hart, which could have really turned the tide in the Monday Night Wars. Bret Hart going over there on the hottest storyline in wrestling.
Yep.
Same thing.
100%.
AEW is totally dropping the fucking ball here.
Yeah. 100%, man. I couldn't agree anymore. Let's move on past AEW and let's talk about Uncle Howdy. So they've been playing these vignettes, and I have not seen the documentary yet on Bray Wyatt. Have you?
Yes, I have seen it. It's very good. I recommend it to any wrestling fan.
Everybody says it's amazing, so I'm definitely going to be checking it out when I get a little time over the next couple of weeks. It's just been such a busy week and a half since I got back, so I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I heard there was kind of a cryptic tease at the end of the documentary. Okay, so I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, and I haven't seen it, but there is a cryptic tease, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's something right there that they're putting out, and they've been putting out these different interruptions, I guess, during the shows, the last couple of shows. They put a QR code up, which people scan the QR code, and it's another really cryptic video, which is really cool. And it looks like Uncle Howdy, aka Bo Dallas, is going to be coming back. And I don't think he's coming back alone. I think he's coming back with his own version of the Wyatt family, so to speak, however they go and do it. And I think it's going to be really interesting because word came out this weekend that Eric Rowan pulled out of some bookings, and the promoter had said the reason he had to pull out was due to a new contractual status that he had, which I would assume would probably be the WWE. Right. And you also have Braun Strowman, who's recovering and is looking to get cleared, or is about to be cleared, or maybe already is, from his neck surgery last year. And then you have Alexa Bliss, who had a baby last year who could potentially be coming back, or there's other options of people that they could potentially put in this faction. What are you thinking about about Uncle Howdy coming back? What do you think they're going to do with this? Are you excited about it? Let me hear your thoughts on it.
I'm excited about it, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want him to be a part of a faction right off the get. I want him to make an impact as Uncle Howdy first and establish dominance, and then kind of introduce one person at a time in the faction. If they're going to do multiple people, or if they're going to do 2-3 people, whatever it is. I don't want it all at once. I want it to be drawn out. I like long stories. I don't like things that are rushed. I feel like that was one of the mistakes they made with the Wyatt family. Everybody showed up on scene pretty quickly, and they didn't really develop it as long as it could have. And that's just my opinion. I mean, the Wyatt family stuff was incredible. It was at a time where you had different factions like the Shield and stuff like that. And then you had Daniel Bryan with that great storyline. And there's many stars that you could tell great storylines with in this situation. I think Bo Dallas is very talented. I don't think that he has the charisma that Bray Wyatt had, but I think he can carry it over and maybe learn some of those things, especially with his passion and stuff like that. For wanting to honor his brother, that can take you to a whole different level of creativity with the situation like that. So I'm thinking he's going to do well, and I'm thinking he's going to pull it off, and I'm excited, man. Uncle Howdy, the cryptic messages they've been posting. It's actually pulled me back into wrestling to where I want to watch it and see it unfold.
Do you really think he can pull it off as a leader of a big, powerful faction?
His Bo Leave character, I enjoyed.
I did too. Cool. I loved it.
I think they pulled the plug on that a little too early. I always wanted to see what him and Bray Wyatt could do together. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see that. But for him to carry on the legacy of Wyndham and stuff, and it's the perfect timing to pull the trigger on it. So I think he will have what it takes if he uses that motivation of trying to honor his brother.
I think he can do it too. I think he's a lot more talented than people ever saw. I mean, he was a champ down in NXT. Yeah. He carried that brand for a good period of time. I like the Bo Leave character too. I thought it was hilarious. I thought there was so much more room they could have done with that, and they really could have built him up as a serious upper mid card guy. Maybe not a main event talent at that type of character, but I think he could have been a really serious upper mid card guy. They didn't go about that with him for whatever reason. He seemed to kind of flounder at certain spots because, let's be realistic, they were definitely going through some creative differences at that point in time within the company and in a lot of different things. Jeremy says, I think they should find someone that can be a mouthpiece of the group, someone that can deliver a dark promo like Jake the Snake. See, I'm all for that too. Having somebody that could be a really cryptic leader for them. I don't know who it would be right offhand, but I could see
maybe
that.
His dad.
I don't think Mike Rotunda could carry that, bro.
No,
he was never a powerful speaker on the mic. He lacked charisma a lot, and great worker. No disrespect to him. Great worker. Great pro. Is a Hall of Famer now. I don't see him as somebody that could carry that. He just that wasn't his. The charisma
wasn't his MO.
Yeah, that wasn't his MO. He was a solid hand in the ring, and that's what he was good at. And there's nothing wrong with that. Jeremy says Barry Windham. Okay, Barry's always a great worker. He's a great talent. I don't know if Barry's health could permit doing it, but it could be interesting. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of great potential that you could
go.
Yeah, and I'm sure they got some great talent maybe in the developmental roster they could do. But I think if you're going to bring in a manager, somebody like that, you got to bring in somebody that's a powerful presence, not somebody that's brand new.
I don't mean to cut you off, and I'm sorry, but I had a great idea that popped in my head, and I got to say it before I forget. But one that would kind of be off the walls, but he's been a dark character before. He's a freaking author. He's great with words. Man, he's wanting to make a return to the ring for one final time, and he's having to cancel it. Why not,
Foley?
Dude?
It's a good idea.
Mick Foley.
Do you think he'd want to go with the schedule and the grind, though?
Dude. How incredible! But you're just a manager. Have him show up for the vignettes. Have him do the vignettes at home.
He's damn good on the mic too. Yeah, he's damn good on the mic too.
Have him out to the show, and he's got the itch, man. He's got the itch to go back.
Yeah, that could be really interesting. I could get behind that all day long. I mean, look at how good he did with the dark character of Mankind.
You add another, and don't bring him back as any of the three faces of Foley.
No, just
bring him back as a deep,
dark character.
That reads poetry or some crazy shit like that, dude. Oh
Jeremy's
man,
digging your idea. He says that's a great idea, Richie.
come
Yeah,
on.
man,
You
that,
know,
that
he's
could be
old
really
enough now. He
interesting.
looks like an old man. Have him sit in Wyatt's rocking chair. You know, just
Just think
that would be
about how good his
you could print
promos and
money with
how
that.
dark they were with Mankind and Cactus Jack and what he could be.
Yeah,
You know, 100%. Brother Mick, he said, yeah, there you go, Brother Mick.
brother
I
Mick,
love it right there. That's awesome.
dude.
What a different layer that could be. Now, would that be long term? Probably not. It'd be a good way
Probably
to,
not.
to build him up and get him
But
over,
get it
things like
enough to
that.
where it brings credibility to the group.
Yeah.
You've got a legend, you know, in the group, and bring credibility to it, and it would just add layers upon layers to it.
M. Guzman says Mick too. So you
Mick,
have another person that agrees with this right here. So
perfect.
it's a great idea, man. It really is. You know, and I think there's other characters that they could bring in other than just the Braun Strowmans and the Eric Rowans or the
You know,
Alexa
I
Bliss's.
think those were expected, but you know,
I
I don't
got one
know.
for you, Richie, that I think would be a great fit for the if he brought in and started a new faction. Dexter Loomis.
Dexter Loomis, yeah. I don't want to see Braun Strowman in it again.
Yeah.
The mask is already off. He wasn't really good in it to begin with. I mean, he looked the part, but I just
It was a good way to build him up when he was younger, you know, and he
yeah,
was getting his start in a business and everything like that. So yeah, I could see that. I don't know with Braun because his neck injury was really bad, you know,
yeah,
and I don't know how much longer it'll be for him to want to get back in the ring. And I mean, if he was in there, he'd be a dominant power, you know, powerhouse and force and everything like that.
sure,
I'm afraid he would overshadow maybe Uncle Howdy a little bit though because of his size.
yeah.
Rowan is a great fit in the character, you know, that he could come
He
back and
is,
do
and
it.
he can play a creepy bastard
Oh
too.
yeah, he definitely can, and he hasn't done anything really big in wrestling or anything like that, minus a few indie shows. I know he did
Well,
AEW
they
one.
screwed him over in his WWE run with that spider gimmick. I mean, do you
So
remember that?
stupid. Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
god.
that was in the dark ages of
Oh jeez.
WWE. You know that era. I think it was 2018, 2019 when they did that stupid spider thing. You
Oh
know,
my god. That was so
I
horrible.
loved them as the Bludgeon Brothers. I thought they were really good as the Bludgeon
The
Brothers.
Bludgeon Brothers was cool. A way you could do a spin-off of that is the Vikings.
Yeah, you got Ivar too.
Those guys would fit the group phenomenally, you
The one
know?
guy is out for a long time with a serious neck injury. I think it is too,
Oh,
a
is he?
back injury. Yeah, but Ivar's been on his own, and people have been putting him
Ivar and
over.
Redbeard, there you go.
Yeah, Ivar's has been getting put over to the moon by a lot of wrestling personalities for the stuff that they've been doing with him, and in his promos that he's been given, people are really taking note of this guy. He's a great worker too for a big dude. He's always been a
Yeah.
great worker. The
You could
Viking
have,
Raiders thing just floundered to me. It wasn't
it
because of
did
them;
flounder.
they just didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah. You could bring back, you know, Otis as a dark character.
It could be an interesting one. He's a talented guy for sure
He's
because
got charisma for days.
they're going to be doing a switch up with them now. I'm sure because Gable just went heel. You know. Oh,
Mhm.
Jeremy's got a good one here. I don't know if you've seen this guy, Joe Gacy, down in NXT.
I have seen Joe Gacy.
Cameron
Bronson
Grimes could,
Reed.
yeah, Bronson Reed. Cameron Grimes could be a good one too. He's a
Yeah.
really talented character who's done nothing on the main roster. He's just been sitting at home. I
Excuse me.
mean, the possibilities are endless of people you could kind of build this faction up with. But
Absolutely.
who would they go after to start? To me, I say the Judgment Day. You'd have to go and maybe take the Judgment Day out.
Judgment Day would be a good one. You know, I don't really want to see them do faction wars, to be honest with you. I'd rather see them go after the champion, take
Hmm.
him down, you know, become a real threat, you
Yeah,
know, take
just a
people like
solid
Gunther
force.
out. Just, yeah, solid force like the Shield was, but a darker spin on it, you know.
It could be interesting to see him go after, a Sami Zayn when his feud with Chad Gable is over
That would be
in a
great.
couple months. You know,
That would
it
be
would add a
great.
great layer to Sami Zayn. Look at the good stuff that Sami Zayn did with the Bloodline, you know, and
Yeah.
how well he got that character over. It could be a really good thing for a Sami Zayn out there too, that they could maybe, work with him and destroy him. And they got the draft coming up, so they're going to be switching up a lot of the stuff that they're going to be doing, and some of the people that are going to be on the brands. I could get behind them going after an LA Knight too.
I was going to say LA Knight because it was the last match of Wyndham.
Amen. I mean,
It makes
there's
sense.
there's a lot of great ideas on things
Yeah.
that they could do with this character. And once again, going back to Bo, in this Uncle Howdy character, I was digging what they were doing with Uncle Howdy,
Yeah.
when they were bringing him
Sure.
in. I think they were in such a tumultuous time at that point. I think it was a blessing in disguise that the character got canceled for a while.
Yeah.
And I know, of course, unfortunately, with Bray's passing last year, but I really think that it was a
Now's the
blessing in disguise.
time.
Yeah, I think the time is now if you're really going to go with it and push it. And, I'll throw somebody out there too. I'm not a big fan of this person, but I think they could also fit in the group as a female. And she's the one, unfortunately, that took Rhea Ripley out, an injured Rhea Ripley, who's going to be out on the shelf for a good period of time. And, well wishes to Rhea on getting better. Sad to see she had to vacate the title last night. Liv Morgan could be a good character that you could bring in as a dark person. And she's Bo Dallas's real life girlfriend too.
She could be Sister Abigail.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Alexa Bliss is out there. I don't know if Alexa wants to come back. I really don't. So I just don't have any idea, if she wants to come back or not, or if she's going to. But I think Liv could, maybe do a spin up on a deeper, darker character for this too. Kind of like how AEW did with Julia Hart over in the House of Black going dark. It could be interesting to see. Jeremy says, Richie, I told John earlier that what if Gable ditched the Alpha Academy and he and the Creed brothers become a heel faction too? That could be great. You seen those Creed brothers fight? They're good, man.
They are good.
They are real good. Kind of like a Kurt Angle, type group of people. I want to see Gable as a wrestling machine, though, like a Kurt Angle.
I'm proud of Gable, man. They put him with that Shorty G gimmick, and he came out swinging, man. He had to really, grind and make something of himself. Yeah. So I'd like to see something happen with him. I'm just not for all the faction wars and stuff again, because they've done that. That's the same song and dance over and over.
Yeah.
I want to see these guys pick people apart one by one, do some coward shit, and do some real heel stuff,
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with it. The possibilities are endless. Business is really good in the WWE right now. Creative is really good for the most part. And, Jeremy was telling me last night, I don't have cable or anything like that, so I didn't watch Raw, but I watched some clips of it. It was really good. What did you think of the new tag titles, by the way, before
those are beautiful belts. It's about time. It never made sense to me them taking it and making it a shiny penny at first.
Yeah.
And you make it silver, like you're automatically degrading the tag team division by doing that.
Yeah.
So I was so happy to see that they made the belts gold again. And the designs of them are incredible. And I'm so happy that freaking R-Truth is the one to usher the new designs in. So
yeah, it's awesome.
If anyone deserves it, it's him, dude.
And the Miz too. I got to throw the Miz out there too. This guy's been a grind. I know you hate him, but this guy's been a grinder forever. He's been a staple of the WWE. He's literally, like he's Mr. Professional for them. And he'll do a job to anybody. He'll do anything that's best for business. I love the Miz. I think he's awesome. And, no pun intended on that one. I think he's awesome. And I'm glad to see them both get a rub because they both freaking deserve it, man. And Truth is, in his 50s, I think he's in his 50s now or late 40s. The guy looks like he's like 20, but Miz is
quick in 2000.
Yeah. I mean, he had an earlier run even before that, at different places in the 90s. So the guy's been around forever. And Miz is up there too. He's my age, so I think he's 42 now. So their Father Time definitely isn't on either of their side in regards to how much longer they can go. But these two guys, I still think they got a lot of gas left in their tank. Did you see that
him pop Triple H?
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah. This is the third time today we've read each other's minds at the same time. we were planning the shows out today. And we've done this through messages. This is the third friggin' time we were thinking at the same time. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
I get Tommaso Ciampa.
Dude, that was incredible.
He's the best, man.
I want to see him get a title run.
I do too. I'm all for it, man. I think
everybody would be. I want him to. I really like, even if it's just a month, even if it's a week, just give R-Truth the title run.
When he came back, or when he came on the Raw after WrestleMania when the Judgment Day were celebrating, and he just shows up.
It was so fun. And
right behind Damian Priest. Oh no, we're not doing this.
We're not doing this again. Get out of here.
I thought I'd bring the title back, the tag team titles back to the Judgment Days,
dude.
After they beat him the night before. Oh, dude. R-Truth is he's one of the best.
It's gold, man.
I would love to see him, like, no disrespect to Damian Priest or anything like that, but I would love to see him beat Damian Priest.
They may be setting that up. Who knows? They might set that up.
Triple H is all about what's right for business. And let's be realistic. How many people on the show get bigger pops than R-Truth?
Not many.
Very few.
People love to love that guy.
I would even go as far to say as I think he gets bigger pops than even the biggest babyface Cody on the roster right now, Cody Rhodes gets. So
Maybe sometimes. I don't think all the time. Maybe
Not all
sometimes.
the time, but I've heard definitely some of them that were bigger pops for him.
People, dude, I'm telling you, his charisma is for days. He can make
Yep,
people laugh. He can make people cry. I mean, R-Truth is a genius when it comes to
he
being in the
really
ring and
is.
stuff.
He's just he literally is, man. The guy's father time definitely doesn't know anything about our truth because he gets better and better and better all the time. I've always been a huge fan of him. Always. I've always
Yeah.
loved him. The little Jimmy stuff in the early 2000s with Cena, or whatever it was, maybe like 2008, 2010 range,
The
something like that.
24/7, 7-Eleven.
Yeah, this guy can do anything.
I
Anything.
hated that green belt, but I loved it when it was on him.
You got that right. Let's see. Jeremy says he got me with I've seen a rabbit out of the hat and a woman sawed it in half, but how did you pull new tag team belts out of a sheet?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Oh
funny.
gosh, I love him. I'm all for anything with our truth. Anytime he's ever on, like all my friends who are wrestling fans will always send me the R Truth clips because
They're hilarious.
they are. You don't even have to be a wrestling fan to watch the guy and just see where it's going to go. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want to talk about Roman Reigns, the bloodline stuff, but we're going to do that on tomorrow's episode. So we'll hit a little bit more modern topics for the Sunday show for the radio. So once again, this is airing live on Facebook and YouTube right now, but this will also air on the radio on Saturday. So tomorrow night, we're going to talk about the bloodline stuff and where they might be going with the bloodline. And we're going to also do a little Mick Foley on there. So we talked about him earlier. We're going to talk about one of Mick's really good feuds, and we are going to watch a viewer's choice. It's Jeremy's choice on this one, the last man standing match with The Rock versus Mankind. So definitely will be a fun watch along that we'll do tomorrow. And now tonight's watch along, we're going to move on to close the show out, is going to be Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. I think this was WrestleMania 31, Richie?
WrestleMania 31, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was WrestleMania 31. This is the SoFi Stadium that they did. And Richie, I sent it over in the private chat to you, the link to the YouTube. So if you guys don't have the network, I'm going to copy the link right now and I'm going to put it in the comments for you if you want to watch along with us. So just check the comments on YouTube or Facebook and you'll be able to see right now the link that's right out there. So this is the link we're going to watch from. It's on the Peacock Network as well. So if you want to check it out with us, please feel free to go right out. Yep. He said 31, the night Sting should have won. Yes, the night Sting definitely should have won. And yeah. Let me know when you got that up, Richie.
Okay, just got one more ad I got to skip through, and then we'll be
got
going.
it, buddy. Well, we skipped through that. Brother. All right. Well, we skipped through that ad, folks. Once again, if you want to watch along with us, just click on the link on Facebook or YouTube, or you can go check it out on Peacock. Or if you don't want to, we're going to give our own commentary to it. We wish we could put it up, but unfortunately, if we put it up, we would be taken down in about 10 seconds. So WWE works magic at that really fast. Tony Khan tries to do it now too when he puts up stupid videos, so we can't put that stuff up here on the video. So we apologize. We wish we could. People always ask, but we can't. So if you want to watch it, it's right there in the link for you. So Richie, let's get going in 3, 2, 1. Hit that play button now.
Everybody should go out and watch the entrances to this match because it's incredible, especially the vignette before it.
Doesn't Bray get doesn't he get like a musical intro from somebody?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And then there's scarecrows and stuff like that. It's so cool.
See, these are my favorite versions of Bray with the Eater of Worlds, the Wyatt family leader like this. This is my favorite version of him.
The Fiend was mine, man. The Fiend will always be my favorite. It was the hottest thing in wrestling at that time. You and I covered it until they did that Hell in the Cell match with Seth Rollins. He was on top of the world.
It's so stupid to do that. Oh, big boot by The Undertaker right off the bat.
Yeah, this is a great match. Undertaker looked really good here.
It's nice to see Undertaker working good at this point still. I know he was definitely hurt a lot and was only doing, seasonal appearances, so to speak, but
his confidence wasn't too good here at this point either.
Yeah, I miss The Undertaker. I know it's everybody's time, that they have to ride off into the sunset, but I miss The Undertaker. It was great to see him at WrestleMania.
For longevity and for his character and everything like that, you got to put him in contention to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Many people would say he was, and I wouldn't argue with that. Many people would definitely put him up there with that. To me, no, but he's definitely in the Mount Rushmore for me.
Yeah. I to me it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, but Undertaker will always be top 3.
You know who my goat is.
Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan.
There you got it. So I'm actually going to go to a Hulk Hogan meet and greet this summer for Fanatics in New York City.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So Daniel had sent it over to me. Look at him walking the rope. Nice.
How much is that going to cost?
I don't know yet. They haven't posted the prices. I would assume a couple $100 though. So
Yeah,
I
Hulk
would
Hogan's
assume a
pretty
couple hundred
stingy with
bucks.
his time too.
It's such a rare thing to be able to kind of get them now. So
Yeah,
if you can get him out, then God bless you. God bless you, because it doesn't happen too much unless it's down at his beat shop. So I'm excited to see it. He's my all-time favorite. My 2 all-time favorites are Trish Stratus for the females, and for men, it would be Hulk Hogan. And Trish Stratus is actually coming to my town a couple weeks before, so I'm going to go to that one too. So it'd be cool to get an auto from Trish and Hogan and get to meet them both. Jeremy said, only
absolutely.
regret I had from this match is they should have waited till it was completely dark outside for the intros. I would agree with that.
I agree with that 100%. The timing of it was horrible.
That's the problem when you do it on the West Coast and they have to start at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever time they were starting it at this point in time.
This WrestleMania was one of my favorite, my last favorites.
What about this Mania did you like the most?
I loved that Sting came back. I loved Triple H's Terminator entrance. I just think Sting should have went over.
Yeah.
But the matches that they had here, I think Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, the really good match that they had was on this one.
Yeah, and then Seth
and then, of
Rollins
course, you had-
cashes in at the end.
Yep, and then you had the Randy Orton moment with Seth Rollins. That was epic. I mean,
Oh,
this
that
was a
awesome
really
RKO,
good-
right?
Yeah, this was a really good WrestleMania.
Yeah, Jeremy says Seth Rollins cash-in made the show. A lot of people love that cash-in. I think that was the first
Yeah.
big cash-in that they did at WrestleMania or something like that, right?
Right, and I think Daniel Bryan won the Intercontinental title here too.
Okay. Yeah, good times for sure. Like I said, never seen this match, never seen this card all the way through. I've seen some of the matches though. Seen the Sting match, of course. Saw the Reigns versus Lesnar match. Those are kind of the only ones I really remember from this one. They're on the outside now, fighting right out front. Isn't this when Ronda Rousey came in and helped The Rock or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
Gotcha.
I think this is when the Hardys came back too.
No, that was Orlando. That when they
Oh,
came
that
back.
was Orlando. You're right.
Yeah, that was Orlando when they came back a few years later. That was a great moment too, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
It's so cool to see these big football stadiums when they do them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing to think that they can, with wrestling, that they could fill these places and do it so easily and do it 2 nights in a row at that, like they just did the last few years.
Yeah, I think this was the last one before they started doing the 2-night shows, right? This was right before the pandemic, I think.
No, this was in 2015.
Was it?
Yep, this is 2015 right here.
Wow.
So this is way
It feels like a
before.
whole lifetime's gone by since this.
Doesn't it? It's amazing to think that it was, 9 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
We didn't even know what COVID was at this point. Can you believe that?
Yep. Jeremy said Brian won the IC title in the ladder match on this one. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. Bray is taking it to Undertaker really good here. He was just a couple years in the business at this point, in the main roster, wasn't he?
Yeah, God, one of the biggest regrets that I think WWE should have is not having.
I got a quick ad here for 1 second. That's the only disadvantage to watching on YouTube is you get ads. All right, I'll be done in 1 second, folks. Boom. We'll be back in a minute. What a beautiful stadium this is, though, too. Richie, you're muted, buddy. You are muted, my friend. Let me unmute you. There you go. How about now?
What do you think Bray Wyatt should have been the one to end the streak?
I do. If you were going to have anybody end the streak, I think it would have been Bray Wyatt. Brock Lesnar had nothing to gain from
They had
it.
a great
What did he gain?
story.
Yeah, they did. They had a great feud, great story. There was a lot they could do. 2 deep and dark characters. What did they gain by having, Brock Lesnar win the year before, right? What
Nothing.
did Brock Lesnar gain from it?
Nothing.
Yeah. He's always
He
going to
should have
be a
been the new
dominant.
face of fear.
Yeah, he was always a dominant character. Bray, it would have been just the icing on the cake for his career to
It
put
would
him
have sent
over
him
to
to
the
the
moon.
moon.
Yeah. I don't get it. I just don't get it why they didn't think it was the good idea to do it.
It was a total Vince McMahon move. A total Vince
100%.
McMahon call. I guarantee it.
And Undertaker would have been game for it. He's always been a consummate pro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It would have. He's a consummate pro. Undertaker would have done anything that was right for the business. He would have done what was right here too. Bray really, when you look at the evolution of his character through the years, it just shows the depth of the talent that this guy had. That he could
It
literally
does.
do anything that they wanted him to. He could take any version of Bray Wyatt and turn it into something different and interesting and good.
I agree.
I wonder what he would have done when he came back with the Uncle Howdy stuff and the Wyatt Six. Man, I would have loved to have seen that stuff.
I would have loved to have seen it too. I remember seeing all the little puppet characters standing in the crowd.
Yeah.
All great moments. The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, his makeup was so sick, dude.
Yeah, it was really cool stuff. No doubt about it. Jeremy said this was when Rusev lost for the first time too against John Cena.
Oh, I remember
Is
that.
this when he came out in the tank?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Boy, there's a miss right there on both promotions by not putting
Just
Rusev
laughing.
over. That's how great he was. I mean, here he is right here, like you said, laughing at the Undertaker. One of the most dominant forces in the history of professional wrestling.
Well, his
And
character was genius. I mean, you had like a Charles Manson style character that just cult leader. It was awesome, man. Totally awesome.
that's why when you go back and you think about the darkness that they can do with what we were talking about earlier with the Uncle Howdy stuff, think about how Mick could add an element, like you had mentioned with Mick, to being their
Telling
manager
you,
or a mouthpiece to him.
that's the creepy element.
Bro, just imagine a Cactus Jack Mankind mix like Jeremy had said, Brother Mick. I'd love it, man.
You mix all three characters, and there's your guy that you need.
Seriously, man. You put them over to the freaking moon.
You have him wear a button-up shirt that's like the tie-dye, it would be perfect.
Just something bizarre and crazy. Oh, shit. He's got it. Was that the Go-Go Plata he's got on him? Oh, he's got the triangle on. Is that the triangle or the Go-Go Plata? That's the Go-Go Plata or Omoplata. I never understood that move on how people got caught in that and, the UFC and stuff and got tapped for that. It's such a hard finisher to put the omoplata on him like that.
One of Nate Diaz's specials.
Oh yeah, well he's a different level of good on the mats.
Yeah, he is.
He's a different level of good on the mats. What do you think about JBL's commentary? I've always been a fan of his commentary. Richie, what about you?
JBL. Yeah, I love JBL. He's
the wrestling god.
He's the wrestling god. His character, whether it was the Acolytes, whether it was JBL, whatever, I loved his characters. And when he transitioned over, I thought his commentary was incredible.
Yeah, loved him.
A lot better than Taz.
No, Taz sucks on commentary to me. CM Punk is great on commentary too. I just want to throw that out there.
Great. Look at that.
Oh man, look at that. Yeah. Jeremy says, speaking of being a pro, I got to tip my hat to Seth Rollins on being a pro at WrestleMania 40. Yeah, we put him over last week here on the radio show for all that he did. Rock actually said this about him, said that he was the MVP of night 1 and 2.
Oh, absolutely.
And when The Rock says that, that's a big feather in your cap, right?
Well, and they made him look like such a jabroni. It sucks,
Yep. He's going to come back hotter than ever, though, when he comes back. So...
yeah, I just don't want to see him with these outlandish outfits.
I don't either. I don't like that stuff. I want to see him do something a little darker and deeper. Boy, he hit that choke slam on Undertaker there. Pretty nice. Ow.
Yeah, he did.
Jesus.
This was always my favorite part when he'd hang upside down.
Yeah. I love that shit too. And then just starts walking doing it.
Look at that.
Yep. That beard coming out too when he's upside down is crazy. Nice. I love his finisher too.
Yep.
Sister Abigail, such an awesome finisher.
Look at that. Choke slam.
Nope. He ain't getting that
Not
one.
today. Look at
Nope,
that.
don't do that. Nice choke slam by the Undertaker.
That was great.
Yep. That livened that livened the crowd up a lot there, that counter. You think that was Undertaker's swan song in the ring at WrestleMania recently where he gets involved in things, or you think they do that ever again with him?
I think they'll do it again eventually.
Yeah.
It's got to be the right story.
He was saying that that was the best way he could go out. That's what he was saying, I guess. He has a podcast. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. It's really good.
I only listened to like one time and I enjoyed it. I think he only does it monthly.
Yeah, he does.
Tombstone. Is that it?
It's a wrap.
1, 2. No! Kick out. Undertaker's blown away at that one.
Yeah, he is.
Not many people kick out of the Tombstone. Not unless you're Triple H, at least.
This was my favorite part of this match right here.
He's kind of a mix right here when you look at his character of the dead man, and it almost looks like the American Badass style.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Undertaker had an identity crisis. This is your favorite part right here?
Oh, dude. It's incredible.
What's your timestamp at, Richie?
Let's see. 12:25.
All right, perfect. We're right at the same point. I keep getting an ad here and there.
This is awesome.
He's kind of got that look like, what do I got to do to put this guy away?
Right.
A year later, Bray got the nod from The Rock about 100,000 people turning their phones into fireflies. Yep.
I remember that.
Yep. That was a cool moment. Is that when The Rock came back to take out Rowan? Was that
yeah,
it?
In like 6 seconds.
Yeah, 6 seconds. Yep. I think that was it. That was a cool moment too. Was that in? Where was that in? That wasn't in Phoenix. I can't remember where that was. Huh. So many WrestleManias. So many memories to remember for 40 years of WrestleMania.
This right here.
There it is. Nice. Sister Abigail. 1, 2. No, sir. This is how you get a crowd hyped up and into something like that.
Such a cool moment.
Yeah.
This right here. Oh, damn it. I got to add.
I got one too at the same time, so that's okay. We'll skip through it after.
This right here.
I have enough streaming services, so I'm not paying for no ads on YouTube too.
Check this out, dude.
All right, let's see. Is this when they both sit up at like the same time or something like that? Is that what's going to happen? Yeah, I could kind of see them both sitting. Yep, he pops up right into the bridge.
It's so cool, dude.
It is so cool.
It's like he's possessed.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Not yet, buddy.
That's such a good moment.
I love him just like kind of crouching down now and looking. He's like, oh, shit.
I pissed him off.
Yep. Look at the stare down that they have with one another, too.
That's such a great moment.
Oh, man. That was Dallas the next year, Jeremy said. Yeah, it's SoFi Stadium. 0 from RE. How are you doing tonight, 0 from RE? Thanks for coming out and checking out the stream. Nice to have you out, my friend.
Absolutely.
My favorite version of The Undertaker was The Last Outlaw with the head shave for Hell in the Cell with Hunter. All right. It's a cool version, too.
That was a cool one.
That is a cool version for sure. Everybody who's watching, and whether it's on YouTube or our Facebook page, please make sure you like and follow our page. We would greatly appreciate that. And please make sure you hit the thumbs up and like the video on YouTube or Facebook. It'd be greatly appreciated. It helps us out. So thank you very much in advance.
Absolutely.
We love having more people come and find the channel and check it out with us every week. We're here a couple times a week live, and our Facebook, you can find out all the different stuff we're doing, whether it's on audio or on video. Bray mocking the Undertaker. I like that.
My favorite Taker was probably 98.
98?
Yeah, Hell in a Cell with Mick was my favorite Taker.
It's a damn good version of him.
Yep.
I like the dead man character always. That's my favorite version. Anytime he does a good dead man. Uh-oh, Sister Abigail, is he going to hit it again? Yeah. Gives him the kiss of death. Uh-oh, nope, countering that one.
Not today, boy.
Tombstone. There it is. Boom.
Damn, he came down his head there a little bit.
He came down hard on that one. 1, 2, 3. Big victory. Cool. Great moment. Good match.
Can you imagine that sound in that arena right now?
Yep.
Just hearing the gong.
You ever seen The Undertaker live? You've seen him live before, right?
Many, many times.
Yeah, me too. Anybody who has never seen him live, you're missing out on something.
Big time.
See what Jeremy was talking about with the lighting, how much better the entrance is, and the order of this match would have been if they just would have waited a little bit longer.
If they put it towards the end of the show.
Yeah. Great point earlier from Jeremy on that. Who would you be your number one, John, if it wasn't if we never had Hogan? Wow, that's a loaded question. All right, so I'll throw 2 at you that would be tied for it for me. Macho Man Randy Savage and Sting. So
you're a huge
Macho and Sting.
Yeah.
With that?
You're a huge Sting fan.
Love Sting. Sting's probably got to be my number 2. I got to say that. Price Stinger. Loved him. Always did. The evolution of his characters through the years too, and all the different things he did. Sting's got to be it. Macho Man is right up there though too. And another guilty pleasure of mine would be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So
that one
always loved the Dragon.
Wow,
man, love the Dragon. He's one of my favorite workers of all time, and he's the ultimate babyface. Met him in person, great guy. He is. Everybody that's ever met him has said that what an awesome dude that he is for sure.
Yep, very cool.
You met him at a meet and greet, right?
Yeah. I met him one time.
Awesome guy.
Takes a lot of time with you. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything different.
Where they herd you through like cattle.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything different from the Undertaker, from what everybody said. Yeah. So I would never expect anything different from him whatsoever. So, well, man, what a great show tonight. So that was a lot of fun, man. Great topics of discussion. Yeah. Make sure you come back tomorrow night, everybody. But before we go on to tomorrow night, Richie and I are starting a new project that's outside of wrestling. And we can actually announce it now and kind of talk about it a little bit because we've officially signed our agreements to do it. So we were offered a great opportunity by the media group that we work for that employs us for the radio. And they presented us with a great opportunity to create another show. An idea that Richie and I had about, it's called Random Conversations, and it's lots of different topics. It's going to be outside of wrestling. It's going to be different things that we're going to be discussing about life, about social issues, about politics, about sports. It can be anything. We don't have a format to it. It's kind of like Seinfeld. If you're a Seinfeld fan, it's kind of like the show about a lot of different things, but there's no format. There's nothing special about it to that.
If you like Rogan, if you like Theo Von, it's very similar style.
Got it. We taped the first episode this weekend. It's really, really good. And I've had some people listen to it already, and they have found it to be really, really interesting too. So we hope you do too. So I just started a Facebook and YouTube page for it. So if you want to find it on Facebook, just look up Random Conversations Podcast. If you want to find it on YouTube, it's Random Conversations Podcast as well. Or I think the handle for it is at Random Conversations POD. And it's going to be available each week on audio, and it's going to be available on video. So we're going to put it out primarily on the video side, just on YouTube. We're going to shoot for that to start and maybe put it on Facebook later on. We haven't decided yet. We're going to use the Facebook to kind of promote it, but we really, want to venture into YouTube a little bit with this as well for the video, and kind of make it maybe exclusive to that primarily, but we haven't fully decided on it. We're still kind of working that part out. YouTube's a hard medium to crack. So we appreciate if anybody would check that out. It's a lot of fun. You're going to really enjoy it. And it's going to be available in May. It's going to be available in multiple radio networks in the United States. It's going to be available in Atlanta, and it's going to be available in New York right now to start, and more to come. So we'll let you know the stations and stuff when we get that information out. And it's going to be sometime in early May that it's going to start. So we think you're really going to enjoy that. But tomorrow, we're going to debut some episodes to kind of get the ball rolling on YouTube and on our audio. So it's going to be available on all major podcast outlets every week, and it's going to be available on YouTube and eventually on the radio. So tomorrow at 8 a.m., the first episode drops. So check it out on our social media. Once again, it's at Random Conversations Podcast on Facebook. That's the only social media that we use. We are going to create a TikTok for it. Richie's going to run the TikTok, and we're going to do some stuff over there. And we're going to do some stuff for the show here on TikTok as well for the wrestling side of what we do. So lots of great stuff coming. If you guys are interested in checking it out, we would greatly appreciate it. We're going to try to make it interactive, like we do here on the show, and get people out. We'll do some live tapings for it. So more to come. It's just a different project outside of wrestling. And we think you're going to really, really dig it. We hope you do. And we hope you come back and check it out. So Jeremy says, I got a great question for the new show once it starts. Looking forward to it. Great. That's what we want to hear. Great questions,
Yes,
great feedback. It's going to be all things that we want to talk about, things about life. But come back tomorrow night. Chris and I will be here. We're going to watch some Raw, and come back on Saturday and Sunday once again for the radio Sunday show. The episode that we'll tape for Sunday is going to be a follow-up. We're going to talk about Mick Foley, and we're going to talk about the Bloodline stuff and where they're going with that, where we see the future Bloodline plans book. And Richie, closing thoughts before we hop off, my friend.
I appreciate y'all showing up tonight. I hope you're enjoying the content, and come over see the new show, man. Come hang out with us and have some conversations, and hopefully you guys will like that show too. Appreciate y'all showing up, and we'll see you down the road.
Yeah, absolutely, everybody. So thank you again for all the great all the great feedback you guys always give, and all the nice reviews, and all the people that check out the page. We can't say enough how much we appreciate that, and how much we appreciate each and every one of you that come out and make this happen. And keep telling friends and spreading it out there. We're just a small show. We're growing, hopefully going to grow it into something bigger in the future, and that's what we're going to do. So we are really looking forward to all the great things that are coming, and we really appreciate each and every one of you. So for Richie, I'm John. We're signing off for tonight. Come back tomorrow night on Sunday night on the radio, and come back tomorrow night for me and Chris here on Facebook, and we're going to have a good time. So we will catch you later. Thank you for listening or watching the Retro Wrestling Revival podcast.